Have you ever wondered what services a multimedia company can bring to your music career? Well, if you have, then you'll definitely want to check out our sit-down interview with Kevin Hallan, CEO for Offstream Entertainment. We discuss what specific services they offer artists, what he looks for in new artists that he's willing to sign, and some of the most common mistakes you can avoid, and much, much more. Right now.
This episode of the MUBUTV Insider video series is brought to you by the Music Business Registry. The Music Business Registry is the leading music industry publisher of the most up-to-date contact information for major and independent record label A&R, music publishers, artist managers, music attorneys, music supervisors, and much, much more. The Music Business Registry is the trusted industry standard and source serving the music business community for over 30 years with the most accurate and up-to-date contact information available. Their titles include the A&R Registry, the Film and Television Music Guide, the Music Publisher Registry, and the Music Attorney Registry. All of their publications are available in PDF, CSV, or online subscription. Visit musicregistry.com and use coupon code MUBUTV10 at checkout. That's musicregistry.com, coupon code MUBUTV10. When you're ready to put your music to work, musicregistry.com.
Hi, it's Ritch Esra from MUBUTV, where our mission is to educate, empower, and engage your music career. We're coming to you from Muse Expo in Burbank, where we managed to catch up with Kevin Hallan, who is the CEO of Offstream Entertainment. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tell us about Offstream Entertainment, what it is and what it offers artists.
Offstream Entertainment is we kind of label it as a content and talent development company. One of our main divisions is Offstream Music Group. And Offstream Music Group is a production and licensing company where we actually produce music and license it for TV, film, video games, and commercials.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you find is the biggest barrier for artists today who are serious about entering a career as a professional musician or as an artist in the market today?
That's a really good question. I'd say really their connections. I mean, a lot of times it's their connections. You know, they'll have really quality music, but they don't know how to connect to the right people to get their music out there. So I think that's a huge situation. And then competition is vast right now because everybody can go straight to market. You know, you can go straight to, streaming platforms. You can make music, push it out there. Doesn't necessarily mean the quality of the music is there, but you can just go right direct. So now you have to actually navigate through those waters, which is way, way bigger than, let's say 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's a much, much more crowded marketplace.
For sure.
Tell us what Offstream Entertainment looks for creatively in the artists that you're signing and in the writers and producers that you're working with.
Yeah, we have an interesting, way that we like to bring our artists together because it's really about a certain sound that our clients are looking for. So we work with a lot of different, production companies and networks and video game companies. So they have a particular sound. So some of the mainstream music doesn't really fit for our model. So like, let's say you might have an artist that is doing really well mainstream, that won't translate over to the sync space for us. So we might look for an artist that has more of a stronger sound, more of a bluesy sound to do something more stomp rock based. And that allows our clients to use the music that they need for their particular projects. So a lot of our music that we're looking for and artists that we're looking for are based around our clients' needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's more custom, you're customizing it.
Yeah, for the most part, because even when we find certain artists that have a certain sound that we like, we have to still bring their music into a space that's going to work for our clients. Okay. So they might come in and, let's say, they're used to doing a pop record. They love pop, that was a record that they put out, but their voice would actually work really, really well in a trailer. So we might say, hey, let's partner you up with one of our producers, use your voice and your top line and bring it over to this song, and now we have a song that we can use for, for a trailer. And it works out great, they get the exposure, trailer goes big, Spotify numbers, blow up because everybody's Shazamming the trailer, and it worked out great for the artist, but it wasn't necessarily their sound that they wanted to start off with. So we have to be creative, very, very creative, because we have to really pay attention to the artist and see how that sound is going to work for something. And there's times that I've actually had debates with our producers where they're like, I don't think this is going to work, because we're listening to their mainstream stuff. And our other team, I say, no, we think it might, let's just try it. So we try it, slams, hits great, and it ends up working for everybody.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. It's interesting hearing you speak about the creative aspects, Kevin, because I think we both know that in this business, it's not always the creative aspects that get the job done. Can you speak about the non-creative qualities that you look for in the talent that you're going to be involved with at Offstream?
Yeah, that's an incredible question. One of the best questions I've ever heard, because I think the non-creative actually is what allows artists to be seen a lot better. So you might come in and have exceptional music, the quality is there, but you're a jerk. So a lot of times they might not want to work with you because of that. They don't want to deal with you in that space. And in this, like I said earlier, the competition is so vast. So if I'm looking creatively, you think you're the greatest artist ever, which is fine. You need that energy, you need that confidence to build yourself up. But when you're walking into a certain label or production company or licensing company, they're dealing with a lot of artists. So if you're coming in with all this negativity and you're difficult to work with, you don't have your paperwork done, you don't have no way to clear your music, you have 10 producers on it and it was you as art, it's just so messy that you rather just not work with that client. And I'd rather tap on one of my other clients, one of my other artists that are actually way easier to work with. So I mean, you definitely have a good value system, good head on your shoulders, make sure your paperwork is done properly. Just try to be a good person. I mean, I understand that when you're walking into this space, these people don't have to work with you. So don't walk in acting like they have to. Don't be entitled. Walk in with a level of humility and say, look, I'm thankful to be here. I don't care what level this label is. If they're just picking up the phone and calling me, it can be an independent label, it could be a major label. Be so thankful for the opportunity that you have to be able to just walk into that room and you know, pitch your music to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So take us through the procedure. Once an artist is signed with you, or a writer or producer, what are the services and marketing and strategy you have for that particular person with regards to the projects? How does that work at your company?
Yeah, we focus more on the licensing side of things first. That's always first and foremost, because when we have the sound together for the song and the song gets pitched and placed, that opens up an enormous amount of exposure for the artist. So we might get the song, let's say, placed on a major TV show, and people Shazam that TV show, and they're listening to the music and they're, oh my God, we love his songs. So now they're following them on Spotify, they start following them on Instagram, so all their numbers start just rising dramatically, which the rising number on streaming creates more revenue for them. So now it opens up a whole nother stream of income that they never had before. So everything for us starts with the licensing side of things, versus other companies, they'll tend to focus on, like, let's put them on tour, let's take them to radio, let's do these traditional models. We tend to be more focused on the licensing side of it, because we know that turns over a really big exposure level once they get the right pitch and right placement for them.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk to me about what you see as CEO of the company, the most common mistakes you see artists making today, new artists when they're starting out.
Oh man, let me see. In the space, in our world, it tends to come to the non-creatives, to be honest with you, man. I mean, I know some incredibly talented artists. I mean, there's so many of them, but they're not easy to work with. You know, it's a lot of mess that comes with them, and it challenges you to have to work with them, versus saying, like, I just love your music, I just want to work, let's just get in a room together and let's just go work. But it's just so messy, you know. So I think one of the biggest challenges that we face is making sure we don't have to deal with the mess. And I think a lot of companies are like that. I tend to be very outspoken, so I tend to be the one to say you're being messy, you know, versus some companies will say, oh, you're great, we love your music, and then they throw them to the side, don't even deal with them because they know the message is coming with them. I'll tell them, look, you're being messy, in hopes that they can look at themselves and say, I got to get better at this. I can't walk in being entitled. I can't walk in not having my paperwork together. I can't walk in being this messy and negative and such a jerk. I got to have the non-creative to bring me to the table so I can stand above everybody else. So so for me, I think that was probably the biggest challenge that we've seen.
It's interesting listening to you, because we've talked to some major musicians who have been out on road with superstars. They said the exact same thing. They said the superstar would much rather go with the person who's not quite as talented as the other person, but they're reliable.
Absolutely.
They can be trusted.
Yep.
They will show up on time.
Yep.
They will be there. They
Yeah.
can be counted on, rather than all the drama and madness that comes with the more talented one.
For sure. Yeah.
Very true. It's
Yeah.
so true across the board at all levels.
Yeah, and I think executives of labels, whether it's production company, sync licensing companies, major labels, indie labels, I think they would all say the same thing. I mean, if we had our pick between an artist as talent at an A level but he's difficult to work with and he's messy versus talent with a B level, because we feel, we can help take them to A level. That's why they're here, So we don't mind the B level and taking them to the A level. We actually prefer developing them more because we find a better attachment to them because they're going to appreciate that a lot more. The A level is looking like, oh, I'm talented, I don't need you guys. We don't want that energy. So we rather say, wish you the best, I'm going to get out of your way. I hope everything works out for you, but give me the B level person, because they have the talent, just needs to be blossomed a lot better. And once it's blossomed, they already have the value system in place that's going to take them to a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In your life, Kevin, have there been any books or movies that have been really inspirational to you professionally that you can recommend to our audience?
Oh man, that list is very long. I'm a huge reader. I probably read a book a week.
Okay.
So it depends on the category. I always say you should be reading 2 books at all times.
Okay.
It should be a personal development book. You should always be working on yourself. How do you make yourself a better person? Then another one is how do you make your skill set better? So whatever that skill set is, whether you're trying to be an engineer, executive, you want to be a sound editor, whatever that is, have a book that you're reading that's going to focus on your skill set to make that better. And then definitely a personal development, because you need the value system in place. You need the non-creative side of you so people learn how to deal with you. You're going to learn how to, shift your perspectives in like I'm trying to think of some book titles. I read a lot of John C. Maxwell, great author. He writes a lot of personal development books. The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, that's a really good book too. It really helps you hone in yourself on how you're going to deal with things that come, might rupture your mental at the moment, helping you deal with that. So yeah, a lot of personal development books, because I'm big on self-help. I'm big on being the best person I can possibly be. So when I walk into a meeting, I walk into dealing with an artist, they're going to get a certain energy from me, where I don't walk in like I think I know everything, like I'm better than anybody. No matter what I've accomplished, that doesn't mean anything because I'm a human like someone else. So having this level of personal development behind me has always balanced me out with that space. Yeah.
Absolutely. How can artists get involved with Offstream Entertainment?
Just reach out to us. Yeah, I try to be very accessible. Sometimes I get hit. Sometimes they say I'm too accessible, but I try to be very accessible. So they can go to offstream.com. That's our main website. And then they can always email me directly, Kevin@offstream.com. I mean, simple as that. And once you reach out, I can see what kind of style of music you have. If it works for us, then I'll connect you with our team, and then we'll make a phone call back to you or send you email back, and then see what we can do to work with you.
Some pretty insightful info there coming from Kevin on what services a multimedia company can bring to your music career. So, insiders, question of the day. What were the most interesting things to you that Kevin spoke about with regards to signing with Offstream Entertainment? Was it the services and marketing strategy Offstream Entertainment provides? Or was it some of the most common mistakes he sees new artists making? Or was it what he looks for creatively in the artists he signs? Or maybe it was something else that you'd like to share. We'd love to hear from you and connect in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to MUBUTV for more information on how to educate, empower, and engage your music career. You can also check out a summary of this episode and everything we talked about in the YouTube description as well. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd really love it if you hit the like button and let us know what other kinds of videos and types of content you want to see on our channel. Hit us up in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.